Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy McGrath, and welcome back to Pathways to Health with Dr. George Maloney. Dr. Maloney, welcome back.
Thank you.
Today, we'll talk about the gut microbiome. And if you're not familiar with that term, well, that's okay because I wasn't familiar with it either until Dr. Maloney called it to my attention and its increasing importance. Um, so today we're going to ask him to tell us a little bit more about the gut microbiome and why it's so important for our health. So Dr. Maloney, would you tell us what you're
Yeah,
thinking
so the
about something?
microbiome is a collection of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live in the human digestive tract.
Okay. And it's interesting because, like I said in my introduction, I hadn't heard of that word very much, maybe once or twice. But once you started to call it to my attention, I started seeing it on magazines and CBS. I started hearing about it on TV programming, reading about it on the internet. Why is it coming to the forefront so much now?
Yes, I think they've discovered the benefits of a healthy microbiome. And the number one finding and the number one role of the microbiome is to process and break down fiber. In the process of breaking down this fiber, it creates uh, anti-inflammatory products. And this can be important to the health of the organism.
Um, and because there are thousands of organisms in our gut, right? Both good and bad.
Yes, probably billions, maybe trillions.
And we're trying to maintain that balance, right? Between the good and the bad.
Yes, we're trying to maintain the balance between the beneficial bacteria and the problem-causing deleterious bacteria. And this is a balance that can be influenced by diet, specifically fiber.
And uh, what type of foods, when you talk about fiber and maintaining that good balance, what type of foods are you referring to? Just if you could give us some examples.
It's going to be plant foods, green, healthy leafy greens, but also plants of all colors. As plants of all colors will have different kinds of fiber and different kinds of nutrients. So the experts in this new field studying the microbiome recommend that the way they put it is eat the rainbow. So eat vegetables of all different colors. And that includes beans and lentils as well.
Um, I think that I've also heard you say fermented foods, correct?
Yes, yes. So the um, the vegetables will contain nutrients. The vegetables are the ones providing the fiber to the fiber seeking bacteria, and this will increase the number of these healthy fiber using bacteria. But the second part to help with the microbiome is to add some fermented food directly because fermented food contains healthy bacteria.
Okay. So we'll get back to that in some more detail later in the program. Um, but I wanted to pick up on something you said a moment ago um, about fiber having anti-inflammatory properties.
Yes,
Yes, and because they're starting to believe the research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the researchers are starting to believe that there is a very important relationship between inflammation and some diseases.
yes. Inflammation has been found to be an integral component of many diseases, and it's implicated in several more diseases. So disease such as asthma has certainly been linked to inflammation, but also arthritis, Alzheimer's disease,
Right.
cancer,
Yep.
cardiovascular disease, Parkinson's disease. These all have links to chronic inflammation.
And so it's really, we need a healthy immune system to keep that chronic inflammation under some control, right? It's,
Yes, that's right. And diet can assist in that.
right. So the
Healthy
diet,
diet can assist in.
so the diet can help the immune system do its job.
Yes. When you provide fiber, body makes small chain fatty acids, among other things. These can be anti-inflammatory. And now you're influencing the degree of inflammation in your body by your diet.
And also, I would think, and this is just speculation on my part as a non-medical professional, um, you don't always want to be taxing your immune system. Like you want to be its friend. Just like if you have a virus, you're not going to go out and run a marathon. You're going to stay in bed and hydrate yourself. You really want to make these choices that help the immune system do its job, correct?
Exactly right. So all the vegetables that we talked about, a whole range of different colored vegetables, start to provide that function.
So I can't help but mention several months ago, Kate Middleton, Catherine, Princess of Wales, after having had abdominal surgery, announced to the world that she had cancer. Shockwaves throughout the world. This young woman in her early 40s. But yet, I just read an article, a research article in Lancet, the Lancet in July, that said that the prevalence of cancer, and they've identified like 17 different cancers in which they're starting to see rising rates in both millennials and Generation Xers. And they mentioned colorectal cancer, pancreatic, gastric. And there's some speculation. They didn't say that in the article, but I have read, related articles that have said they're starting to think that this increase in young people might have something to do with diet. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because remember, cancer used to be a disease of aging.
Yes, and we've thought of cancer as a disease of aging because that's when it most commonly occurs. But I think there has been a change. And if you look for factors to study to explain this situation, I do think diet is one of them, and diet does come to the forefront because we've certainly seen changes in the diet, the Great American Diet, and the diet in the UK, which is very similar. And unfortunately, we've gotten away from whole food to a large degree, and we've gotten away from natural food, and we're eating much more processed food.
Right, the ultra processed food.
And I think that's unfortunate, but I think that can be part of the explanation. Absolutely.
And even if you're walking through a supermarket, I've been noticing everybody's cart more than usual. I knew we would be talking on this subject, and the ultra processed foods are just piled on. I'm not
Yes, and of course, the advantage is convenience, and and you do need to have some foods, such as frozen foods, that will last for you for a week or several weeks. And you may have to have some lightly processed foods. But anything that's ultra processed and the food is now no longer recognizable as the original food, I think should be avoided.
Can you tell our viewers, give us an example of a difference between a lightly processed food and an ultra processed food?
Well, a healthy, lightly processed food, I would say, would be salt cured pickles.
Okay,
So the cucumber has been pickled naturally, no preservatives. This is actually going to be a very healthy food,
okay,
as opposed to a cheese curl, something that was once corn and once cheese and is now really not recognizable as corn or cheese. And it's been fried in a factory, and it's been manipulated to the point of probably no nutritional value.
okay. So can we get back a little bit to the good foods, the foods that have the fiber that we're looking for? Um, would that include like fruits like blueberries?
Yes, certainly blueberries, apples, pears would be the top of the list for fruits. For vegetables, you always want to start with the leafy green, um, um, spinach always comes to mind for me because it's ready to eat,
Right.
but also broccoli, and because that's a cruciferous green. So
So easy to eat.
there are quite a few that come to mind, and I think the other thing you want to remember is have some foods of different colors. So maybe a yellow squash, we used to call summer squash, would be helpful, and red pepper. I would recommend all those things. They all have fiber and they all have different nutrients.
Okay. And I think related to this and to the subject of a healthy gut, um, we need to talk about prebiotics and probiotics.
Right.
Important
And
for our viewers to know.
prebiotics are the foods I just mentioned,
Okay,
including asparagus, other healthy greens, and the multiple vegetables and fruits that I just mentioned.
they are
They're
prebiotics.
providing fiber. They're creating the right environment for healthy bacteria to grow, which is what we're looking for in our healthy microbiome. And we think of that as the fertilizer
Right,
for the soil.
right,
And then the next step is the probiotic. Probiotic includes salt cured pickles, but also aged cheddar cheese. And the other ones I want you to remember are kefir, which is liquid, um, a liquid yogurt that you may not be familiar with, and the other one is Greek style yogurt. These four, if you just use these four, that will be sufficient to create, add the seed to your microbiome, and these are all probiotics.
that's really great to know, because I think a lot of us know about the benefits of yogurt, but I didn't know that aged cheddar was a probiotic until you told me. Maybe
Right,
a
and
lot
it's
of people,
really quite enjoyable, tasty, and it has good nutrition value also.
it's great. And sometimes I think people think they have to, stay away from the cheese for one reason or another. And of course, you shouldn't overeat anything, but the aged cheddar is
That's right.
so good and good for
That's
you.
right. Everything in reasonable amounts is going to contribute to your healthy diet. And we've talked in the past about Mediterranean diet, but contributing to your healthy diet in some controlled way will contribute to a healthy microbiome also.
Yes. So I wanted to put that plug in for the aged cheddar because now I love it. I'm like, this is easy to eat. Um, anyway, so also, I've heard you mention in the past that spices can also be an important contributor to a healthy gut. can you talk about the spices and also the fact that spices have anti-inflammatory properties, correct?
Yes, especially garlic and onions are quite anti-inflammatory and helpful in the liver. Another combination is cinnamon and cardamom, which is a substitute for sugar, a natural substitute, and that promotes a healthy glucose level, stable glucose.
So
So
important.
that's valuable. And the other combination is turmeric and black pepper, which is known universally as an anti-inflammatory.
And when you use turmeric, how do you use it?
I like my turmeric with black pepper in chicken tikka,
Oh,
and that's what I would recommend.
okay,
That's really quite good.
okay. Um,
Yeah, you know, they ask King Charles, "What's your favorite British dish?" And he said chicken tikka.
really?
I thought that was interesting.
Yes. So hopefully he's using turmeric and black pepper as well.
I guess. I mean, he didn't say, you know, fillet of fish or fish and chips.
Right, which is a
So I
notable British
so I
dish.
thought that was interesting. I think chicken tikka you'll find is a health promoting type of dinner.
Is that an Indian dish?
Yes,
It is. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
yes. It's originally Indian dish and it's kind of been adopted by the UK.
Um, so tell us, if you have a healthy gut, how does that manifest in your daily life?
What I think a healthy gut does mostly because of the fiber is it promotes slow digestion. Fiber slows down digestion. If it's present with anything, it will start to slow the digestion of other food that it's present with.
Okay,
And slower digestion is generally healthier digestion and promotes a smoother glucose level. So you don't have glucose spikes. Glucose spikes have been known to contribute to changes in your level of energy. So I think a healthy biome results in good energy levels throughout the day.
so then would you say that a healthy microbiome even could have positive effects on the prevalence of diabetes in this country? If
Well, the healthy biome, the biome research, microbiome research is quite new. And as far as making definitive statements, no, because they
there's
haven't
too much
reached
of a
that
jump,
level of study. But I think that's something that could be studied, absolutely.
right? Right, because that has really reached very high levels as well. You know, the problem in this country with diabetes,
Oh,
type
yes.
2, type 2, and that again, a lot of it that's diet.
Yes, and I think the latest number I've heard is 40% of the population or at least approaching 40%.
Too high, too high.
Which is
How
quite high.
how about does it affect, I'm wondering, does it affect your energy level? How you feel from day to day?
Yes, I think you feel the difference, and I think what you're looking for, and I think what you will get with a healthy diet, creating a healthy microbiome is a significantly high level maintained throughout the day. And I think people have reported noticing the difference.
Okay. Because we care about that too. It's easy to talk about these things, but I think what motivates people is seeing the difference and feeling the difference in their daily lives. When you start to feel
Absolutely.
more energetic, and healthy in your daily life, that's a real motivator.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Maloney, before we wrap up today, Can you, let's talk about 3 pathways to gut health. Your 3 top recommendations for our viewers.
Yes, my top recommendations are, as we've been talking about, a prebiotic, which is really a vegetable with fiber. Asparagus is a good example, but all the green fibers are good. Broccoli, also good. Spinach, also good, but you also need to add something yellow, summer squash, red pepper, something red, so that you're getting all the colors of the rainbow. Is very helpful with those vegetables. And the fruits, blueberry, apple, pear, particularly good. So I would do that first of all.
Colors of
The
the
second
rainbow.
thing, the prebiotic first, and the second thing is probiotic. And we talked about 4: Greek flavored yogurt, kefir, which is liquid yogurt, aged cheddar cheese, which you like, and you're going to be partaking
Yes,
of, it sounds like.
yes.
And the last one is salt cured pickles that you find in the refrigerated section without preservatives.
Okay,
Like 4 is adequate. And if you have some of those every day, I think you'll improve your microbiome, and then you can expand from there and see if there are some other probiotics that you like. And the last thing, the third thing is you really have to try to avoid ultra processed food.
right.
Ultra processed food, and the example I gave is a cheese curl. That's corn that has been fried, puffed with air, sprayed with cheese, and it's really unrecognizable as a whole food.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this program. I hope you gained some tips from us. As always, any major diet or lifestyle change you want to discuss with your physician, but we hope to continue to provide you with some tips just to live a healthier life. So we hope you've enjoyed the program, and we hope you'll join us next time. Thank you for being with us.